Thursday sa inyo. No, happy Thursday everyone and thank you for coming. Thank you, good afternoon.
Sir John, sobrang happy namin na nandito po kayo. It is such
Talaga
an
ba?
honor.
Happy ba kayo?
Yes!
Ayan, okay. Okay.
I
Nakakagaan ng loob.
happy and a little scared.
Bakit?
Grabe po talaga yung iba po yung presensya, no? Yung vibe ng isang John Arcilla. Parang alam mong may great, you're in the midst of greatness. No? In the presence of greatness. Sir John, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a little tired. I just came from my what's this? Stunt rehearsal para sa isang film na pinatapos ko. Medyo pagod pero ready to rumble.
So, you still do your own stunts? Is this like a conscious decision on your part? Talagang gusto nyo kayo pa rin gumagawa ng stunts?
Hindi naman sa stunt na masyadong mahirap. So, easy stunts. So, okay lang. Pag talagang matindi na may double na yan.
Pero grabe po, sobrang feeling namin may kasama kaming legend ngayon. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time, Sir John.
But well, definitely, I had 3 films done. Well, itong malapit na matapos itong isa. And then may patapos ng teleserye. So, medyo ganun ka-busy. 3 yung pelikulang tinapos ko.
At mamaya, iisa-isahin po natin yung mga dapat nating abangan kay Sir John. But right now, let's talk about you being a Star Magic artist.
Oh, yes.
So, Sir John, since you entered the Star Magic family as a kapamilya, ano po yung masasabi niyo sa mga naging projects niyo with the Kapamilya Network?
Well, bago kasi ako naging Star Magic, pinakabatang Star Magic member.
Yes!
Halos lahat ng projects ko naman talaga puro sa ABS. And I must say na lahat naman ng proyekto ko, I don't want to be biased, pero ang gaganda kasi ng mga projects talaga sa ABS kahit hindi pa ako part ng Star Magic. And what happened was during the pandemic, medyo nagkaroon ako ng konting parang insecurity na baka, wait, hanggang kailan ito? So matagal na kaming merong konting ligawan ng Star Magic. I-handle nila ako pero nag-hesitate ako kasi I've done a lot of projects na like General Luna na ako lang naman mag-isa. So natatakot ako sa idea na a group or an organization is going to handle my decisions. So nagdalawang isip ko until nung pandemic. Sabi ko, hanggang kailan ang pandemic at hanggang kailan kailangan ko ng isang home studio. So and then I said yes na to Lauren na sige, okay na ako. Then I started actually in the middle of ang Provinciano. And ang mas easy ngayon is yung mga schedules. So pag meron akong mga gustong projects, sasabihin ko is na sila na mismo yung mag-approach dun sa production na kung pwede akong sumali or kung meron naman mga invitation sa akin na medyo nag-think twice ako, so mas madaling sabihin na kausapin mo na rin. So it's parang more convenient on the management matter.
Meron ng middleman. Although I think
Yeah.
parang hindi nyo naman din po hindi rin po, parang ang mas mahihirapan actually yung lumalapit sa inyo. Matatakot po kapag may ayaw kayo.
Hindi ka, nakakatakot ba? Or just creating this kind of energy?
Nakakatakot pa si Sir John Arcilla.
Hindi daw naman.
Grabe naman kayo. So ako lang, tumatak po talaga sa akin ang inyong performance sa General Luna. And I think sa lahat sa atin, tumatak talaga. And this was over a decade ago. Since you have mentioned...
2015, yes. Yes,
Yes.
10 years. Yeah, wow.
Since you have mentioned General Luna na rin po kanina, let's talk about that. Yes, how pivotal was that role for you in terms of your career, maybe in your everyday life, in how people approach you?
Major. After General Luna, the TF part, not triple but 10 times.
Wow!
It was really 10 times. And I did not push it. I mean, hindi ko siya, I did not force it's actually the productions who, parang sila na yung nag-offer na hindi ko sinabing ito. And then, wow. And then suddenly, so ang tawag kasi sa akin dati is coffee na lang beer eh. In fact, kung ano man yung nagiging character ko, yun ang tinatawag sa akin. And then until now, general na talaga ang tawag sa akin kahit ng ibang productions. Kahit sa nag-shoot ako, kahit director ko, general, kahit lahat ng mga PA, general. So, okay, nakatatak na yun.
Yes. And how do you feel about that? Like, do you ever get tired of it, or do you love how impactful it has been for the Filipino viewers to view you as General up to now?
In essence, it turned into a like term of endearment to me. So, but alam mo medyo hindi ko alam kung okay to. Medyo, may makakasalubong akong mga estudyante. That is the best part of that. Yung naging audience ko, yung naging public nung after General Luna, from kids to the adult. So, sasabihin sa akin minsan may mga college students, may mga high school students, Sir John, murahin mo naman ako, murahin mo. Ayun ang medyo nagdadalawang isip ako sandali. Ano ba talaga? Ano na ba talaga yung naging impact? Tapos merong mga parents makakasalubong, Sir John, pa-picture naman kasi favorite ka ng anak ko. Ilang taon yung anak mo? 10 years old. Tapos, sandali lang sabi ko, pinanood mo sila ng General Luna, paano na yung mga B? Sabi niya, okay lang po. So, ako mismo, siguro mas nakita nila yung value noong pelikula kaysa dun sa mga swear words na kahit ako, honestly speaking, conservative pa rin ako pagdating sa ganung aspect. So, pag nakikita ko na yung parents game na game, kahit yung mga anak nila 10 years old, 7 years old na idol daw ako, hihingi ng picture, magpapa-message sa akin. So sabi ko, well, baka ako lang yung parang uneasy dun sa idea. Baka mas malaki yung naibigay nung pelikula kaysa dun sa akala ko lang. So yun. So, nagwa-wonder pa rin ako up to now.
Well, that's so nice, no? That was how iconic it was. Sir John, murahin mo ko. Parang pag si Miss Gladys Reyes, sampalin mo ko. Parang di ba, may mga iconic na, and I usually.
And I think that was also decisive to the most recent award I got from Eddie's, no? As Film Icon of 2026. So after that, so parang sabi ko, siguro yun din yung naging remarkable na point kung saan parang tinanggap ng industry na yun yung na-reach ng career ko siguro.
And usually po yung mga ganong iconic na mga lines or mga na-attribute sa mga sa mga kontrabida rin. I mean, General Luna was the protagonist, but nakakatakot din talaga eh. Yes, but we want to know, Sir John, before General Luna, have you always been playing these kinds of roles? Like, who was John Arcilla before General Luna?
Yeah, in theater, yes. I played Bonifacio. We toured all over Manila under the Theater Emmaus of Lorly Villanueva. It was 1998 something after Coffee na Lang Dear. And then I played Jose Rizal in the trilogy of Ryan Kevin for musical productions in Tanghalan Pilipino. I played Jose Rizal, I played Simon, the Crisostomo Ibarra with Virgin Velasquez and Monique Wilson. They were my Maria Claras. And then I played Jose Rizal doon sa mismong ilustrado ni Ryan Kebiab. And so imagine mo, in Bayani sa ABS-CBN, nag-play ako ng Marcelo del Pilar, nag-play ako ng Lapu-Lapu. So I've been doing iconic characters.
Historical
historical figures.
So dati
So,
pa po.
Kaya somehow nung mapunta sa akin yung General Luna, meron na akong prior na experience doon sa character because when I did Pule, si Pule, Apolinario Mabini, there was this part of the play that I was able to encounter the character of General Luna. So somehow, and when I was in high school, college kasi, talagang paborito ko na ang history. So, nung dumating sa akin yung script, somehow meron na akong konting mga accounts na nabasa tungkol sa kanya. Dinagdagan ko na lang ng gusto. Before mag-umpisa yung film.
And it's nice that you mentioned your theater background also, because we also know that aside from your remarkable hindi repertoire kapag ano yun, kapag acting, ano ba? Yung body of work nyo sa acting. Siyempre sa theater din, we know you as a terrific performer. So when did this start po?
Well, when I was young, I don't know why. Since I was young, I've been seeing myself. You know what? Bata pa ako, nakikita ko yung sarili ko sa ceiling. I was 7 years old. That it was like it was after martial law, and my family transferred to Baler Aurora after some medyo dramatic decisions. Kasi nakatira kami nun sa may Pasig. I remember, ang daming mga nakikita namin, may bigla na lang patay sa isang kalye, whatever. So, nag-decide yung family to transfer to my mom's province and town in Baler. So, suddenly from a city boy, nasa gitna ako ng isang coconut plantation. So, hindi ko alam kung yun ang dahilan, pero lagi akong nakatingin sa sili, nakikita ko yung sarili ko, nagpa-perform. But on stage, hindi sa film.
Yes.
So pag bata pa lang ako, binibigyan ako ng sister ko ng yung Walang Sugat na Sarsuela, ni Severino Reyes. I was 9 years old, binigyan ako ng isang book, hardbound na book na very colorful, and then sobrang na-amaze ako sa story, and I was trying to ask my sister kung pwede kong ibahin yung ending kasi ayaw ko yung ending eh. Alam mo yung mga ganun na ako passionate dun sa mga ganun. And then, I was 13, during my childhood days, I've been, joining mga amateur contest. Lagi naman ako nag-first. But anyway, until nung 13 years old na ako, na nag-change na yung voice ko, when I was already in my adolescent years, nag-start na mag-crack yung voice ko. Doon nag-change na sa isang amateur contest, I had to sing 5 songs in a row kasi parang yung deliberation doon na rin eh. So yung 5th song ko, doon ako nag-crack ang voice, and it traumatized me a lot. So I stopped singing for several, I think 13 years, and then doon ako nag-transfer to acting. Nung di na ako makakanta, I need to express myself. Siguro I need to express my art, quote and quote. Doon ako nag-start na mag-declare, mag-orator na kasi natatakot na akong kumanta.
But in hindsight, yung pag-crack ng voice nyo is a blessing in disguise. Because, we wouldn't know you as General Luna and in your many other roles if hindi kayo nag-transition to acting.
It was during the audition in Tanghalang Pilipino under Nonon Padilla when I insisted that if I can sing during the audition, napatulala sa akin si Nonon kasi it was an actor's company audition, and yet nag-insist akong kumanta. But hindi nila alam na ako, I was trying to cure myself, I was trying to heal myself with that trauma, na gusto kong kumanta in front of people again. So, sabi sa akin yun, okay, go ahead. So, kumanta ka rin sa composition ko. And then from then on, nagkaroon na ng projects for Actors Company ng mga musical. So, doon ako unang-unang kinuha ni Chino Toledo para dun sa Sarsuelang Walang Sugat. And that Walang Sugat was the book gifted to me by my sister when I was 9 years old. And for the first time, I was able to play Tenyong na nabasa ko lang nung bata pa ako. And then I did the Sarsuela. And actually, natetense ako habang ako ay kumakanta. And that was actually when I began to marry my fear through singing and the character of the particular the character that I'm doing. So nag-marry yung fear ko at saka yung character na ginagawa ko. And then I was able to sing the song with a character na hindi nila alam ay hinihil ko yung sarili ko. So hanggang sa slowly naiwan na yung trauma. And naging singing acting siya.
Wow. Grabe, you faced your fear.
Yes, I have to.
Sa entablado pa, di ba?
Kasi
Ang
sabi ko,
gawin nun.
nami-miss ko, or normal sa akin na kumakanta ng bata pa ako, bakit takot na ako, what happened to me? So, ipinasok ko yun doon sa role ko, sa character ko, na naging effective naman.
And now you're back
I
doing
think,
your
yes,
first
yes,
love,
yes, yes, yes.
which is singing,
Oo,
with
kasi,
a new song.
oh, and with an parang preparation for an album.
Wow!
But when it was in 1990, muntik na akong pumirma ng actually ng contract sa Viva Records. Kaya lang I was really very passionate doing musical plays then. So wala akong time mag-rest ng voice para sa recording. So hindi ko na-fulfill yung contract or na-sign yung contract. But that was 1990. I was like 20s then. 19? Pero yun. So mas nag-concentrate ako dun sa pag-perform sa musicals kaysa mag-record. Kasi kailangan mong i-rest ng voice mo eh. Mag-record.
And now, you're back to your first love and ito na po, parang year proof na it's never too late. Diba? It's never too late. Kung dati na udlot, when you were 19 or in your 20s, and now,
I'm in my 30s.
yes, now in your 30s.
Yeah, 10 years
Now,
after, now, meron na akong album.
Sir John, can you tell us about this new song that you have?
Well, ang dami kasing nangyayari sa country natin as we're aware of that. And then, I heard J.K. Labajo singing this nakaka-something. Ere. So, na-struck ako, sabi ko, pwede na pala sabi ko i-mainstream ang ano Kasi sa American culture, yung kanilang mga songs na may mga FF, ginagawa nila. Pero sa atin, conservative tayo, biglang suddenly, kinakanta na yung salitang swear, PI. So, na-struck ako ng konti. And then, okay lang. Ginawa ko 2 years ago, ginawa ko yung Pamilya Sagrado. Ang kumanta ng theme song was Regine Velasquez. Isa sa part ng song is, walang hiya talagang sinabi mo, mahal mo ako. Sabi ko, si Diva, clean. Yung kanyang di ba? Yung image. And then, walang hiya, sabi niya dun sa kanyang mismong lyrics. Sabi ko, hindi na. Sabi ko, ready na yata talaga ang tao. So, tinawagan ko manager ko si Lauren. Direct, sabi ko, alam mo, sabi ko, nanghihinayang ako sa pagkakataon na yung punyeta umilingaw-ngaw sa buong Pilipinas. Baka it's time for me to sing a song with that. Sabi ko sa kanya, ikaw, sige, sabi niya. Sulat ako. Sinulat ko. That was last year, 2025, around March. Sabi ko, direct, ito, yung kanta. Wow, sige, ganda, sabi niya. Ipakita mo kay Jonathan Manalo. Nagustuhan ni Jonathan, nilagyan niya kagad. After a year, bago pa nilagyan ng melody, nung marinig ko, blues. Hindi ako mahilig sa blues at saka hindi ako makanta ng blues, pero ang ganda! Sabi ko, it's a challenge ko yung sarili ko, kakantahin ko to. So, ayun, na-produce naman.
Wow!
Sana narinig niyo na.
So, this was
Narinig niyo na ba?
self-penned.
Nasa sa YouTube.
Parang gusto ko po nila marinig ulit ngayon, Sir John. Pwede po ba maka-request?
Gusto niyo ba nung may minus? Hindi, maano tayo. Anyway, since yung salita kasi na yung first na yun, medyo hindi siya pang mainstream, so gumagawa kami ng clean version. So, parang sa halip na yun, parang anak ng pusa, or, bakit bang pakinggan? Or, ang awat na. So parang, namamalat ako ano ba yan, awat na? Parang gano'n. Sabi mo, iniibig mo siya. Inilaban kita, pero pinili mo ay siya. Ako'y nagpaubaya at nakuha mo siya. Pero ngayon may iba pa siya, ang loko. Sinayang ka lang niya, ikaw namang martir. Bulag pa rin umasa. Ano ba yan? Awat na. Parang ganun. So it's blues, pero malak-malakan lang tayo.
No, you sounded great.
Oh,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much for those few lines. So again, it's out now. Pakinggan po natin, share po natin.
Nasa YouTube na siya.
Wow. Okay. So, aside from this, you mentioned nga po
At saka po, sa lahat pala ng streaming ng music, meron tayong sa Spotify, sa Apple, maririnig nyo na. Ang title is, ano ba yan?
The iconic General Luna line.
Yeah, so ayun. Actually, it's more on commentary about what's going on in our society. Pero para sa lahat, kasi minention ko doon lahat ng klase ng tao. From karaniwang tao na driver, to teachers, to mga blue-collar job, hanggang sa pinakamataas na tao ng lipunan, binanggit ko doon. Na parang ang ibig lang sabihin is, sandali lang, lahat naman yata tayo, mayroon tayong guilt sa pangloloko sa ating kapwa-tao. Baka kaya natin napapayagan na lokohin tayo ng malalaking tao is tayo rin ay may kanya-kanyang guilt at kanya-kanyang kalokohan sa buhay. Kaya hindi natin sila mapuna-puna. So it is time for us to introspect and discern ano yung dapat nating baguhin bilang isang tao at bilang isang bansa kesa ka man nakapwesto doon sa spectrum na yan. So, kung ano man ang nangyayari sa atin, hindi isa lang ang may kasalanan o dalawa o tatlo. Tayong lahat, inaalaw natin mangyari o tayong lahat, may kanya-kanya tayong dapat ayusin sa sarili natin, sa puso natin at sa ating isip para ma-realize natin yung isang klase ng society na gusto natin mangyari. So that is actually the meaning of this song.
Beautiful think piece. Mapapaisip ka talaga, no? Oo nga, no? Baka sa akin nagsisimula, baka kaya hinahayaan ko kasi may nagawa rin ako medyo gano'n. Ang ganda po. Yes. So, you mentioned nga po na may mga sarili rin kayong compositions even before pa. So, are you writing more songs right now?
May sinulat akong isang song ulit na pinabasa ko kay Jonathan. Gusto niya ulit. So, sana magawa namin before the end of the year. And then, yung binabangko na namin yung album. Ang lalamanin ng album ko actually lahat ng mga songs or mga theme songs ng teleserye na ginawa ko. So from The Alibi, Dirty Linen, if you're aware, of course, Dirty Linen and Pamilya Sagrado. So lahat ng mga theme songs na ginawa ko where I was a part of the major cast. So yun ang lalaman. At saka isang musical play from Ryan Cabiab, yung Paalam na Pag-ibig. Kaduwat ko si Regine Velasquez. And I think nag-yes na siya, Regine. Nag-yes na ata siya to do it. Kasi hindi naman namin kailangan magsama sa isang booth para i-record o pwede rin siya may sariling time. And if she already said yes, thank you so much. Kasi naging Maria Clara ko rin naman siya talaga in the 90s sa musical na Noli Me Tangere of Ryan Cabiab.
Okay, so may abangan po tayong John Arcelia and Regine Velasquez collaboration.
Well, kinompromise ko siya.
Wala na po choice, Miss Regine. No, but aside from Miss Regine, okay, who else would you like to collaborate with or work on sa music mo?
Well, since noon meron kami balak na parang isang mini show na ang magiging guest ko, lahat ng mga totoong kumanta ng mga theme song. Like halimbawa, si wife ko kasi si Shasha Padilla sa The Alibi, right? So since kakantahin ko yung theme song ng The Alibi, gusto ko sanang kaduet siya doon sa mismong live performance. Hindi doon sa recording. Tapos, since ang kumanta ng theme song ng Ang Probinsyano si Gary V, so gusto ko rin sana siya nung maka-collab doon mismo sa live performance.
So, are we looking forward to like a concert, a showcase?
Something like that. We're planning to do that. Yes, we're planning to do that.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, sana may maging interested na manood aside from my following na sana magustuhan yung i-try kung ano yung klase ng mga songs na may gagawin ko.
Yes, we will be there to support this music venture, yes. And of course, lalo na dun sa mga collaborations, exciting yan. So, abangan po natin yan.
Yung ano ba yan, ipakinggan niya sa Spotify, nasa YouTube na eh. So,
Okay.
Sa TikTok na.
Ngayon naman, sa TikTok na nga rin daw eh. Pwede na gamitin sa Reels. Okay. Now, I'd like to ask the questions from our media friends. Sir John, I will read their questions. This one is from Christine De Leon from Cinema One. Many young actors look up to you. What is one lesson about acting that you hope the next generation will carry with them?
Well, you know what? Ang sinasabi ko kasi lagi, before an actor, I am a citizen of this society. I'm a citizen of the world. So, the biggest university in acting is this life. So, lahat ng natutunan ko sa aking mga mentor na katulong sa akin. And there was a point that ma-alter mo at mapapalitan mo lahat ng mga name ng natutunan mo sa kanila. Yung mga pangalan ng mga ng mga processes and procedures, how to get there to the requirement that you need in a certain scene. Darating yung point na ikaw gusto makaka-create ka ng sarili mo. Darating yung point na ikaw mismo ma-discover mo na may sarili ka ng pangalan, name of a particular source that you need in a particular scene. Siguro, the best thing that I have discovered while I was doing a lot of plays and of course tuloy-tuloy na paggawa ng mga projects sa pelikula at telebisyon, that acting is not just a commitment towards your character and to your co-actors. It is also responsibility to your audience. Acting is also a responsibility to your audience. Saan mo gustong dalhin ang mga nanonood? So, tatanungin mo, paano na kontrabida ka naman sa iba? If my antagonist character can push the narrative forward, so kailangan kong gawin yung part ko at hanapin, ako nilalagay ko lagi, hinahanap ko yung human side ng aking character as, if you will notice ang lahat ng aking ginagawang villainous character, nilalagyan ko ng human side para somehow yung manonood, hindi niya makitang caricature yung pinapanood niya. So hindi dumadating sa iyo as kwento lang naman yan eh. So kailangan mo hanapin kung bakit may pinanggalingan, kung bakit naging masama ang isang tao ito. Ano yung mga trauma niya, ano yung experiences niya nung bata siya na somehow that made him decide to be the person that he is or the character that he is. So, ang aking gustong sabihin sa kanila ay tuloy-tuloy lang yung pag-aaral. At saka, importante na makita rin natin yung ating role for community or nation building. Kasi it doesn't mean na ang sining ng pag-ate kailangan maging advocacy or maging isang propaganda. No, I don't like that kind of art as well. Art is art, but whether we like it or not, as human beings, tayong lahat, meron tayong mga biases. As human beings, meron tayong mga virtues and principles sa buhay natin. Hindi mo maiiwasan, hindi yon mailagay sa mga decisions mo to choose what plays, what stories you're going to do and you're going to accept. So, and how are you going to interpret your character? Very collaborative na ngayon ng mga directors and more on directors kasi mas malakas kasi yung position ng director kaysa sa writers. Well, I'm sorry to say that, pero oo nga po, kawawa naman minsan yung mga writers. But anyway, collaborative na ngayon ang lahat ng directors. So, if you need to say something to make your character more realistic, say it.
Speak up.
Speak up. So, kasi kailangan mas maging totoo, mas maging buhay yung character at yung kwento para ang audience mismo natin maging critical, mag-isip. Hindi yung parang nag-escape lang sila sa kanilang napapanood. I really, yun ang isang question ko lagi sa akin eh. Tumutulong ba ako sa audience ko para mag-escape? Kaya sila ganitong klaseng mag-judge, mag-isip when it comes to choosing whoever is supposed to be there. So kaya, as much as possible as an actor, gumagawa ako ng paraan kung paano maging critical yung audience at maging maayos yung judgment when it comes to parang observations kung ano nangyayari sa paligid natin at sa society.
That is a much needed push para maging mas brave or mas courageous yung mga artists natin because without hearing that from someone of your stature, I'm sure meron silang doubts, matatakot sila magsalita. But with your push, thank you for that, Sir John.
Not really speaking directly through your platforms, but pwede mong i-inject doon sa characterization mo kung
Yes.
paano mas magiging totoo ka, maging natural yung character para maging critical lang yung nanonood na ito ang nangyayari sa isang taong ganito.
Thank you. Thank you for that piece of advice. Ang daming for sure nanonood ngayon ng mga artista rin na matututo po din. Ito naman tayo sa next question from Christine pa rin po from Cinema One. What do you think Filipino cinema needs more of to reach wider audiences internationally?
Alam mo, you will agree with me, ang ating history napaka-colorful, ang culture natin napaka-colorful. Dalawang bansa ang major, apat. Major na bansa ang nag-occupy sa atin from 350 years sa Spanish, 4 years Spain, 4 years sa Japan, and then, well, whether we like it or not, we were actually colonized by the United States. And lahat ng influence nila nasa atin, yung tatlong yun. And hindi man tayo in-invade ng China noon, I mean, nandito sila sa ating kultura mula umpisa. Okay? So, ang rich ng ating culture, ang rich ng ating history, ang dami nating pagkukuhanan. At wala tayong problema when it comes to artistry. Tayo isang pinakaunang gumawa ng pelikula sa buong Asia. Halos kasunod nung ang pelikula, ang moving pictures ay nag-proliferate sa worldwide, no? Tayo ang isa sa pinakauna. 1910, nagpo-produce na tayo dito ng pelikula. American production pero dito na ginagawa. So isa tayo sa pinakaunang lumikha ng pelikula. So kung tutusin, hindi na tayo baby pagdating dyan. I think ang problema natin, and hindi ko sinisisi, wala akong sinisisi, siguro kailangan natin ng 100% na suporta ng ating administrasyon. Kung nakikinig man sila, hindi mo naman po kami, ako nagtatampo or whatever. Pero ang ibang bansa kagaya ng Korea, 100% ang support sa kanila ng kanilang government. And may tinatawag kasi tayong cultural economy. Ang laki ng kinikita ng isang bansa sa cultural economy. Alam mo, yung ginagawa nating puhunan kung anong klaseng kultura meron tayo. And then yung ating mga performers, I think, kung may 100% na support, malaki ang magagawa nun. Kahit sa revenue ng ating country. Kasi nakita mo ang Korea, ultimo ang kanilang mga damit at kanilang mga products, mga kotse, may mga name na. Kasi nagmula lang yan sa nakilala yung mga artists nila. And then ngayon, kilala na rin sila sa ibang mga products. So, kulang tayo ng budget. And I think isa sa mga problema din natin, maraming guilty sa atin na ganito or hindi sila aware. Marami pa rin tayong writers, no, and ibang directors na masyadong naka-attach sa formula. Formula in a sense na ganito kasi ito kasi dalawang to ang artista ko, so I have to contend with the artist that I have. So magliliko ngayon yung kwento para mag-adjust dun sa artist. Hindi yung kwento ang susundan o hindi masusunod yung freedom ng writer para doon sa gusto niyang puntahan. Kasi may kailangang sundan na formula kasi ito ang gusto ito ang gusto ni, or ito ang gusto ng masa, itong audience. Pero sa tingin ko, pwede pa rin natin ipagpatuloy yun kasi kailangan natin ng revenue para panuorin ng mas marami ng public. Pero unti-unti, sana mag-umpisa na rin tayong gumawa ng mga unconventional stories na makaka-relate ang tao sa ibang bansa o sa ibang mundo. Kagaya ng, tingnan mo naman pag mga Korean na productions, pati yung mga pagkain nila kasama yung pag-prepare at engross ka naman sa panonood, di ba? And siguro hindi pa tayo masyadong matapang sa stance natin according as a nation sa mga principles natin tungkol sa buhay. Marami pa tayong nahihiyang sabihin sa mundo tungkol sa ating mga paniniwala. Siguro kailangan din nating pasagin yun bilang mga artists. Kasi minsan, kahit yung mga bago nating mga artists gumagawa ng bagong mga narrative, mga bagong content, nakadepende pa rin doon sa napanood nilang Hollywood film. May mga ganun pa rin mga kahit bagong mga writers, directors. So kailangan natin mag-explore more kasi ang yaman-yaman ng kultura at ng history natin.
So we need more support, budget, magiging unconventional, veering away from formula. So,
Yeah, mayroon ako dating nakausap na isang parang Korean. American siya na Pinoy, pero nakapag-work na siya ng maraming beses sa mga tao sa Korea. Gawa lang sila ng gawa ng pelikula ng walang katapusan. At support lang ng support sa kanilang government. Hanggang sa mailagay nila lahat ng mapapanood dyan, lahat ng choices nandyan, hanggang sa ma-break nila yung wall ng Hollywood. At ngayon, sila na ang kumukuha ng mga guests from Hollywood para gumawa ng production sa kanilang
at nanalo na po sila sa Parasite, di ba? Best film na sa Oscars.
Imagine mo yun, sila na yung mayroong capability na, gusto ko maging guest halimbawa si Nicole Kidman. Kunin natin si Nicole Kidman. May ganun na sila. May mga ganun na sila.
Sa Squid Game, di ba? May Hollywood actors na rin sa Squid Game.
May say na
Sana
sila.
po. Kaya, i-manifest natin din sana mangyari din sa Philippine cinema. Let's go! Alright, now let's go to our next question from Push ABS-CBN. Is there a role early in your career that you'd want to revisit now with what you know today?
None. Kasi lahat ng aking mga character na ginagawa, that should be my favorite for that particular moment. Kung hindi ko siya magagawa. So, lahat ng ginawa ko, paborito ko at contented na ako sa ginawa ko. Ayoko na silang balikan. I want to move on and do another character and explore more. Mas ganun po siguro yung
Now, this next question, medyo nadaanan niyo na po kanina, but if you'd like to add more to it, please feel free to do so. What's your process for finding a character who's morally complicated or unlikable?
Well, ang lagi ko kasing process is I have to look on our characteristics as human beings. And lahat tayo, meron tayong mga, well, we can call it bright side and dark side. We can call it positive and negative sides. And lahat tayo meron yan bilang isang tao. And our struggle is always how to be in our center para at least hindi tayo mapunta dito. Kasi kung nasa bright side ka na naman lagi, parang santo ka na yata na hindi mo nangyari agad. We keep on, lagi natin binabantayan ang sarili natin para wag mapunta dito. So, sa characterization is, I always have this three category that you have to consider in finding yours or finding the complications of a particular character. Yung psychological aspect, which is also the emotional, yung sociological aspect, and yung physical. Yung physical kasi medyo hindi siya masyadong crucial kasi pwede siyang gawing prosthetics. No? Pero karaniwan kasi, bihira naman yung mga kwento na ang talagang dilema ng isang character ay yung physical. Mas konti yun. Emotional is, hanapin mo kung ano yung kasaysayan niya, kung bakit siya naging ganito, ano yung trauma niya nung bata siya, kung bakit siya naging ganito. Sociological is, ano yung position mo sa society mo? Are you, parang, do you belong to the poverty, below the poverty line, or nasa middle class ka ba, or nasa elitist ka ba, or nasa middle elite? So kailangan lang malinaw sa yun kasi kahit pa paano mag-change ang iyong nuances kung alam mo kung saan ka nakapwesto. But the most important thing is malaman mo kung nasaan yung sentro niya. Kasi lahat naman ng klase ng tao, kahit siya nasa mayaman o mahirap, meron niyang sarili-sariling kanyang kabutihan at kanyang dark side. And you have to determine as an actor kung nasaang side siya ng kanyang dark side at ng kanyang good side. Nakagraph yun eh. So, ita-thread mo ngayon yun dun sa kanyang social status.
Grabe Grabe, ang daming layers.
Yes, yes,
That's why
yes.
my follow-up question, Sir John,
I studied that, the
Yeah.
characterization.
parang nga po nagkaroon na kami ng libreng masterclass. But my follow-up is, since you study it so much and sobrang malalim po, have you ever gotten lost in a character or too attached to it na nahirapan na kayong let go? Kasi ang lalim po nung pag-dive ninyo eh.
Hindi. Alam mo kung bakit? Lahat naman tayo may core as human beings, no? Ang core natin lagi, ang center natin is, prinsipyo na to bilang isang tao. Naniniwala ako that we are naturally good. Our center is, it's a tabula rasa. It's how do you call it? It's a blank slate.
Yeah.
And blank slate means good. Wala pang action ng bad dito. So we are naturally good and kind human beings. Okay? Pero, yung pagpunta doon, choice natin yun eh. Diba? So, wait, nawala ako. Ano yung...
Have you ever gotten lost?
Yeah. So, ayun. So, malinaw sa'yo kung ano yung core mo as human beings. So, babalik ka lang sa core mo as human being. Kasi dito pinuntahan to ng character ko, doon nagpunta yung character ko, dito nagpunta. Somehow, mayroon din tayong ganun. Like, halimbawa, kung yung character ko may pinatay dito, pero hindi naman ako mamamatay tao. Pero minsan sa buhay mo, meron ka ng sinabi mo, namamatay dito. You know what I mean? So you can use that particular moment as a motivation to that particular scene. And then, since you went back naman to your core, nung sabihin mo yun sa sarili mo, bumalik ka lang ulit doon. And one thing siguro sa akin ang nakakatulong is my spirituality. Because I believe in the supreme being. I believe in the higher, in the higher being. I think sabi ko nga yung ibang mga actors siguro na nagpapakamatay. Ito lang, ano ko lang naman to. Speculations ko lang to. Siguro kulang sila sa spirituality because they cannot release the more, ang tawag mo doon, yung carnal energy. They cannot release it out. Kasi na-absorb na nila ng gusto, di na nila. Kasi walang spirituality. Kasi once may spirituality, of course sa akin lang to, hindi ko naman sinasabi yun. Mas nare-release mo upward yung mga negative at yung mga carnal energy na inabsorb mo to do a character or a persona, to create a persona. So, ganon. So, kaya hindi mangyayari sa akin kahit minsan ay naiitulog mo yon, pero you have to consciously release it out from your system.
So, nung ginagawa niyo po yung General Luna, hindi kayo sumisigaw sa bahay. hindi nyo nadadala sa ibang
Hindi,
lugar.
kasi yun yung normal joke. Wala yung normal. Yun wala yung normal. Hindi kasi nasabi ko lang yun kasi dami kasi mga kilalang mga, hindi sa atin, na hinahangaan sa ibang bansa na parang nagpakamatay dahil hindi nila ma-release yung na-absorb nilang negative energy from the character that they are created. So sabi ko siguro gano'n lang because maybe, ayoko naman mag-judge pero yun lang yung isip ko.
May ibang nadadala kasi talaga masyado. Yes. Thank you for that. Okay, now let's go to our next question. You continue to receive recognition both locally and internationally. After everything you've accomplished, what continues to motivate you as an artist?
Ayaw ko kasi mag-sound like mayroon akong how do we call it? Parang messianic complex. No? Ayaw ko, I don't want to sound like that. But siguro hanggang ang ating ang ating lipunan o ang ating mundo ay meron pang mga problema at suliranin na hindi naaayos natin bilang tao, bilang mamamayan. Ang dami pang kwentong dapat ikwento. Ang dami pang role na dapat gampanan para makakuha ng aral ang audience. So, hindi My source as an actor is this life. And hanggang may conflict na nangyayari, meron kang panggagalingan ng resources mo to impart some knowledge, to impart some principles or virtues, or to impart some lessons na somehow makaka-liberate sa puso o isip ng ibang nanonood. Kasi yung nga sinasabi ko kanina, may responsibility tayo sa audience natin whether we like it or not. Acting for me is not just for self-fulfillment.
But that's totally valid. It's not really messianic. I understand that frustration and that sense of purpose is a great motivation for us to continue what we're doing. Now, Sir John, before I ask you for your final message po sa lahat ng mga nanonood at sa lahat ng mga friends natin from the media, we actually prepared something very special for you. Yes, meron po kaming surprise na inyo pong papanoorin. So, please watch and enjoy this.
Every great actor has a beginning. For John Arcilla, it all started with a passion for storytelling, a passion that has shaped more than 3 decades of excellence across theater, film, and television. After honing his craft through acting workshops, he became one of the pioneering members of Tanghalang Pilipinos Actors Company at the Cultural Center of the Philippines, where years of discipline and dedication shaped the artist he is today. His journey soon reached the screen through memorable performances in Metro Manila, The Born Legacy, Birdshot, and the unforgettable portrayal of General Antonio Luna in General Luna, a role that cemented his place as the country's finest actors. In 2021, John Arcilla officially joined the Star Magic family, opening a new chapter in an already distinguished career. Since then, he continued to captivate audiences through acclaimed Kapamilya productions such as FPJ's Ang Provinciano, Dirty Linen, and Pamilya Sagrado. That same year, he made history as the first Filipino and the first Southeast Asian actor to win the prestigious Volpe Cup for Best Actor at the 78th Venice International Film Festival for On the Job, The Missing 8. The achievement also earned him the Camera Obscura Artistic Excellence Award, the highest honor conferred by the Film Development Council of the Philippines. Since then, his remarkable body of work has continued to earn recognition, and the most recent was 2026 Movie Icon Award given by the Society of Philippine Entertainment Editors. This year, John Arcilla also stepped into a new creative chapter, officially venturing into music under Star Music, with the release of his debut single, showcasing yet another side of his artistry beyond the screen. His exciting and upcoming projects includes Drug War and The Good Doctor, as well as the horror film Haunted Mansion. A celebrated artist, an award-winning performer, a career defined by excellence, versatility, and an enduring passion for the craft. With every role, every story, and every milestone, he continues to set the standard of excellence.
Hey, we love you, Sir John! Ano mo masasabi niyo doon sa napanood natin? May mga bumalik po bang alaala?
Well, minsan makikita mo lang yung medyo ano kasi ako medyo shy ako sa mga ganyan. Yung, hindi ako masyadong how do we call it? I don't know how to handle how do we call it?
Compliments.
Praises and compliments. Kasi parang ako kasi ginagawa ko lang yon kasi meron ako, ang nakikita ko lagi, I have a purpose in life kasi yung lagi yung sinasabi nila. Bilang isang tao may purpose ako lagi. Kaya ko siya ginagawa. Hindi ako nakikipag-compete kahit kanino. In fact, I compete with myself. So, pag nakikita ko yung mga ganun, parang hindi ko alam kung ano, kasi parang ginawa ko lang naman siya kasi gusto kong makita yung purpose ko bilang isang tao. Tapos, meron na palang katumbas na recognition. So, medyo yan, hirap ako.
Oh my gosh, napaiyak natin si Sir John! Oh, congratulations sa gumawa po ng video. Okay, so
So, isipin mo, nahalungkat mo pa yung si Crisostomo Ibarra.
saan po kayo pinaka nagulat na ano, na clip na nakuha nila?
Well, at least doon. Kaya lang, wala. Ibig sabihin kasi nalungkat talaga yun eh. Pag nakuha nila yung ganun pa ako kapayat at kabata.
But Sir John, we're so happy for you for all of the achievements and everything that you've done for Philippine cinema and for our society as well. Sobrang impactful ng mga performances nyo, ng mga nagagawa niyo po for our society. So congratulations!
Thank you po.
And now, I'd like to give you the floor for your message para po sa mga lahat ng nanonood. Would you like to invite them for your projects and for them to listen to your song as well? Here po.
Yes po. Well, I was able to do 3 films as early as now, before the end of this year. Yung una, ang pangalan ay Beast. Hindi ko alam kung kailangan ko na bang sabihin. But with Lawrence Fajardo. Bantayan po natin. And yung pangalawa is Happy Birthday to Me. I think ngayong August na yata ito lalabas. Ng Mavex Productions. Yung kay Lau Fajardo is from Cine Panalo. And then mayroon akong minamount ngayon na pelikula na siguro 10% na lang yung hindi natatapos. Yung, hindi ko alam kung pwede ko nang sabihin, pero Epic Films naman po ang nag-produce. Nakakatuwa. It's parang a horror comedy, no, na abangan po ninyo kasi parang sa Netflix yata yung dalawa kong ginawa na yun. And ngayon pong Manila Film Fest ay meron po akong kasali, isang pelikula, yung Enchanted Carnival.
Haunted.
Haunted.
Haunted Carnival.
Haunted Carnival. Haunted Carnival. And patapos na po ang Alibay. Maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagtangkilik sa lahat ng mga proyektong ginagawa ko. At higit po sa lahat, dalawin niyo po ang YouTube at hanapin niyo po yung Ano Ba Yan? Punlang Ta. And yun po yung bago kong single actually na ang ganda po ng visuals, no? Sana po meron kayong oras para panoorin at pakinggan siya. Pero lahat po ng mga streaming, music streaming ay pwede niyo pong hanapin yung Ano Ba Yan? Nyeta. Ayan. Nyeta. Ayan. Sa ano po, sa Apple Music, sa Spotify, halos lahat. So, please find time to support me also with my venture in the musical, how do we call it, aspect of my career, the musical side. Yun po, maraming salamat po sa inyo.
And thank you for giving us your time also this